In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on March 20th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Brooklyn Nets versus Indiana Pacers. On Thursday afternoon, the Brooklyn Nets will travel to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where they will face off against the Indiana Pacers in what should be an interesting road matchup. Both teams are in very different places right now, and this game could have some implications as the season winds down. Brooklyn is still without Cam Thomas, who remains sidelined, and they have made the decision to rest Cameron Johnson for this game. On the other hand, Indiana continues to monitor the status of Tyrese Halliburton, who could return to action. The Nets have been struggling badly, but in their last game, they surprisingly gave the Boston Celtics a real fight, which was unexpected given their current form. Meanwhile, the Pacers are clear favorites on their home floor, and if Halliburton is back in the lineup, that's a huge boost for their offensive production. His playmaking and ability to push the tempo are key to how Indiana operates on that end of the floor. Even though the Pacers should have enough firepower to dominate the Nets, they aren't at full strength either, and they're coming into this one on the tail end of a back-to-back. Just last night, they had to battle with the Mavericks, which wasn't an easy matchup. Meanwhile, the Nets don't look like a team that has any interest in making the play-in tournament, as they continue piling up losses with little resistance. However, despite the losing streak, Brooklyn has somehow managed to cover the spread in 5 of their last 6 games. That's worth noting, especially since they will have the rest advantage in this one. Additionally, history suggests the underdog tends to perform well in this matchup. In the last 10 meetings between these two teams, the underdog has covered the spread 7 times. Despite their poor overall record, Brooklyn has been a solid bet against the spread this season, sitting at 37 to 31 to 1. On the other side, Indiana has struggled to cover lately, failing to do so in 7 of their last 8 games. As our first pick for this matchup, the Brooklyn Nets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Pacers are one of the better scoring teams in the league, ranking 7th in the NBA in points per game. However, their offensive output has been inconsistent lately, and they've been dealing with higher than usual totals in recent weeks. Given that this game is happening on the second night of a back-to-back, fatigue will likely play a factor. Indiana's legs may not be as fresh, leading to missed jump shots and an overall dip in offensive efficiency. In their last 10 games, the Pacers have gone just 4-6 to the over, while the Nets have split at 5-5 in that span. Brooklyn's defense has quietly been respectable, ranking 10th in the league in points allowed per game, which could further limit Indiana's scoring output. The Pacers also had to travel to Milwaukee for an important matchup on Wednesday night, meaning they will be playing this game with even more wear on their legs. Meanwhile, Brooklyn plays at one of the slowest paces in the NBA, which is another factor pointing toward the under. Their offense has been inefficient, and they are relying heavily on D'Angelo Russell, who has been struggling with his shot. In his last game against the Celtics, Russell went just 6 for 1-8 from the field, and over his past 3 games, he has combined to shoot an ugly 1-1 for 3-5. If he continues to struggle, that only makes it harder for the Nets to put up points. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. New York Knicks versus Charlotte Hornets. On Thursday night, the New York Knicks will travel to Charlotte to take on the Hornets at Spectrum Center. This will be the 3rd meeting between these 2 Eastern Conference teams this season. So far, the Knicks have dominated the matchup, winning both previous games. Looking at their recent history, New York holds an 8-2 record in their last 10 games against Charlotte, while also covering the spread 6 times in those contests. However, betting trends have been split evenly in terms of total points, with 5 of those matchups going over and 5 staying under. The Knicks remain somewhat depleted, as they are still missing key playmaker Jalen Brunson due to an ankle injury. Meanwhile, the Hornets appear to have a fully healthy roster once again, with no new names appearing on their injury report. Charlotte is also expecting forward Miles Bridges to return to the lineup for this game, which could provide a much-needed boost. However, there is still uncertainty surrounding LaMelo Ball's status, as his availability remains questionable heading into this contest. Since Brunson went down with his injury, the Knicks have not looked as sharp, struggling to find consistency on the offensive end. That said, despite their recent struggles, they enter this matchup as clear favorites, especially if the Hornets decide to rest multiple players as they have done at various points this season. Charlotte has been one of the worst teams in the league this year and has had major issues on both sides of the ball. Defensively, they have failed to slow down opponents and rank among the league's worst teams in that category. Their offense has not been much better either. They are currently the third lowest scoring team in the NBA and ranked dead last in overall field goal percentage. Even though the Knicks will be playing the second game of a back-to-back, their depth and talent should be more than enough to get past Charlotte. This game is likely to be high-scoring due to New York's potential fatigue on defense, but the Knicks have enough offensive weapons to make up for Brunson's absence and secure the win. Historically, New York has performed well in these situations, covering the spread in 8 of their last 10 games played on no rest. Additionally, they have gone 14-11 against the spread when playing as a road favorite. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Recent trends suggest that the over has been a strong play when the Knicks are playing on short rest. In fact, the over has hit in 8 of their last 10 games when playing without a day off. Looking at their overall record, the total has gone over in 36 of New York's 68 games this season. When playing specifically as a road favorite, the over has cashed 14 times in 25 games. Given Charlotte's defensive struggles, this contest sets up as another high-scoring affair. While the under has hit more often for the Hornets this season, this particular matchup is likely to buck that trend. Charlotte has been one of the worst defensive teams in the league, giving up points at a high rate, and the Knicks are likely to be a step slower defensively due to fatigue from playing on back-to-back nights. One of the reasons the projected total is set lower than usual is because the Knicks are coming off a back-to-back, and the Hornets are not exactly known for their scoring prowess. However, New York will have played against the lottery-bound San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday, a team with one of the worst defenses in the league. This should work in the Knicks' favor, as they will not be completely worn down heading into this game. On the other hand, the Hornets should have a more effective offense than usual if both Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball are available. Their presence would provide Charlotte with more firepower, which will be especially valuable against a tired New York defense. Given all these factors, this game has a strong chance of exceeding the projected total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Toronto Raptors versus Golden State Warriors. This game features an interconference matchup between two teams eager to secure a win, as the Toronto Raptors make the long journey across the country to take on the Golden State Warriors on Thursday night. The Raptors enter this contest still licking their wounds after an absolute drubbing at the hands of the Phoenix Suns on Monday night. Toronto never found its rhythm and ended up on the wrong end of a lopsided 129-89 defeat. They came into that game as 9-point underdogs, but failed to even come close to covering the spread. Meanwhile, Golden State put together a strong effort in their most recent outing, taking down the Milwaukee Bucks 104-93 on their home floor Tuesday night. That win came on the second night of a back-to-back, and they did so as 2-point underdogs. When looking at the historical regular season head-to-head matchups between these two squads, the Warriors have held the upper hand, leading the series 33-22 all-time. However, it was the Raptors who came out on top in their first meeting this season, securing a narrow 104-101 victory at home on January 13th. Toronto continues to deal with some roster challenges, as they have chosen to give R.J. Barrett additional rest, keeping him sidelined for another game. However, there is a possibility that Jakob Poeltl could make his return to the lineup, which would provide a much-needed boost. On the other side, the Warriors are monitoring the status of Gary Payton II, who is currently listed as questionable for this matchup. Golden State has been one of the hottest teams in the league over the last month, which explains why they enter this game as heavy favorites. However, the Raptors have been quietly defying expectations, despite the fact that they probably shouldn't be winning many games at this stage of the season. They have managed to come out victorious in 6 of their last 9 outings. Even more impressively, they have been one of the most profitable teams for bettors, boasting a 41-27-1 record against the spread. Only 3 teams in the entire league, the Thunder, Cavaliers, and Raptors, have managed to maintain a cover percentage of at least 60%. Over their last 9 games as double-digit underdogs, Toronto has covered the spread 5 times, with 2 of those covers resulting in outright wins. Although the Raptors are a long shot to pull off an outright win in this one, their recent performance against the spread should not be overlooked. Since the beginning of March, they have gone 7-2 against the spread. Meanwhile, Golden State has been somewhat inconsistent when it comes to covering the spread during their current winning streak. While they started the streak with an impressive 9-2 against the spread record, they have since cooled off, going just 2-4-1 against the spread in their last 7 games. Furthermore, they have struggled to cover when given large spreads, failing to do so in their last 3 games as double-digit favorites. That stretch includes a 121-119 win against Brooklyn, a 120-120 result versus Portland, and a 105-114 loss to Denver. While the Warriors have been dominant overall, winning 8 of their last 9 games straight up, only 2 of those victories would have covered the spread they're facing in this contest. Simply put, the Warriors should win, but the spread feels a bit too steep. As our first pick for this matchup, the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to the total, Toronto has leaned slightly toward the under in recent weeks. Over their last 10 games, the under has hit in 5 of them, with one additional game resulting in a push. Most notably, the Raptors stayed under the total in both ends of their most recent back-to-back set. Offensively, Toronto has been slightly more productive than usual, averaging 112 points per game in their last 10 outings, which is over 1.5 points higher than their season-long scoring average. On the other end of the court, they have given up 113 points per game in that same span, while playing at a moderate pace, averaging 99.3 possessions per game. Golden State, meanwhile, has been firing on all cylinders offensively in recent weeks. Over their last 10 games, they have averaged 115 points per game, which is more than 2 points above their season average. Like the Raptors, they play at a fairly average tempo, ranking 16th in the league in possessions per game with 99. Additionally, they sit right in the middle of the pack in offensive efficiency, also ranking 16th overall. Recent trends suggest that this game could be lower scoring than the odds makers anticipate. The under has cashed in each of the Raptors' last 2 games, as well as in each of the Warriors' last 3 outings. During that 3-game stretch, neither team has reached the 110-point threshold in a single game. Furthermore, Toronto has struggled to crack the 110-point mark when playing on the road, doing so in just 3 of their last 11 away games. Meanwhile, the Warriors have done a solid job defensively, holding 3 of their last 4 opponents to fewer than 105 points. When these 2 teams squared off earlier this season, we saw a total of just 205 points, and there is a good chance this game follows a similar pattern. While I anticipate a low-scoring battle once again, one key factor to monitor is the status of R.J. Barrett. The Raptors' leading scorer has been sidelined for their last 2 contests due to illness, and his availability could have a significant impact on Toronto's offensive output. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.